Fact 50. Bigger than countries. Texas spans 268,000 square miles, so massive that entire countries like Italy, Ireland, and Switzerland could fit inside. A drive from El Paso to Texarkana is over 800 miles, matching the distance from New York to Florida. Fact 49. Texas had its own navy. Between 1836 and 1845, Texas wasn't just independent, it had its own navy. With ships like the Zavala, the fleet protected trade and harassed Mexico's coast. Though short-lived, it played a big role in keeping Texas free. Fact 48. It's legal to hunt Bigfoot. Believe it or not, hunting Bigfoot is legal in Texas, recognized as real, so it doesn't fall under any protection laws. That makes it fair game on private land. It's less about proof and more about Texas law saying, if it exists, it's your call. Fact 47. Rodeo is the official state sport. Rodeo isn't just a tradition in Texas, it's the official state sport. Signed into law in 1997, it celebrates cowboy grit and daring. The Houston Rodeo draws over 2 million visitors a year, featuring bull riding, barrel racing, and a whole lot of Texas pride in the dirt arena. Fact 46. Tumbleweed traffic jams are a thing. Near Lubbock and Wolfforth, tumbleweeds can cause full-blown traffic jams. These dried thistles break loose and roll in massive numbers, sometimes burying porches and blocking highways. Fact 45. Singing sand dunes. At Monaghan Sand Hills, the sand doesn't just shift, it sings. When the wind blows just right or someone slides down the dunes, the friction between sand grains creates a ghostly hum. It sounds like a low plane or distant music. Nature's weirdest concert is happening quietly in West Texas. Fact 44. A meteor crater turned roadside attraction. In West Texas, a meteorite slammed into the Earth 62,000 years ago, creating the Odessa crater. It's the second largest in the U.S., and Texans turned it into a park. With a museum and trails, it's now a cosmic pit stop on the highway. Space rocks meet small-town roadside charm. Fact 43. There's a town named Ding Dong. Ding Dong, Texas exists, and yes, it's named after bells. In the 1930s, two settlers named Bell hired someone to paint bells labeled Ding and Dong on their store sign. Locals loved it, and the name stuck. Now it's one of the most cheerfully bizarre town names in America. Fact 42. A ranch bigger than a state. King Ranch in South Texas covers 825,000 acres, making it larger than Rhode Island. Founded in 1853, it has its own schools, zip codes, and even a unique cattle breed. It's so vast and historic, it's basically a kingdom within a state, with a legacy of oil, war, and horses. Fact 41. Texas has its own Grand Canyon. Palo Duro Canyon, slicing through the Panhandle, is 120 miles long and 20 miles wide, second only to Arizona's Grand Canyon. Its layered red rock walls and towering spires tell stories of erosion and battle, especially the Red River War. Fact 40. A river that flows backward. During powerful Gulf storms, the Rio Grande can reverse course. The storm surge becomes so strong, it pushes saltwater upriver, sometimes for miles. For hours or even days, the current flows backward, a rare sight where nature shrugs at expectations and makes a river do the opposite of what rivers do. Fact 39. There's a town called Earth. Yes, Earth is a real town in Texas, named after the gritty dust that fills the air, and it's not alone. You'll also find dime box, cut and shoot, and no trees. Fact 38. Salt flats bigger than cities. In Guadalupe Mountains National Park lies the Salt Basin Dunes, a dazzling white stretch that looks like snow but is pure salt. It's the remains of a long-gone sea dried up 250 million years ago. Fact 37. A fake waterfall by design. Wichita Falls lost its original waterfall in the 1800s. So, in true Texan spirit, the city built one from scratch in 1987. Now, a 54-foot man-made cascade flows 3,500 gallons of recycled water per minute, just to honor the town's name. Fact 36. Only one natural lake. Texas boasts over 7,000 lakes, but only one major natural one, Caddo Lake. And it wasn't even planned. It formed centuries ago from a giant log jam on the Red River. Fact 35. Speed limits hit 85 miles per hour. On Texas State Highway 130, the legal speed limit is a blazing 85 miles per hour, the fastest in the U.S. Most drivers treat that as the minimum. It's Texas's version of the Autobahn, featuring wide lanes, fast trucks, and pit stops at Buc-ee's. Fact 34, a town that moves for snakes. Every year, Sweetwater hosts the world's largest rattlesnake roundup. Thousands of pounds of venomous snakes are captured, measured, and even fried for festival food. It began as ranch safety, but now it's a full-on event. Think parades, cowboy hats, and enough snakes to make Indiana Jones faint on the spot. Fact 33, bats own a bridge. Under Austin's Congress Avenue, Bridge lives the largest urban bat colony on Earth. Around 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats emerge nightly in summer, forming a cloud visible on radar. Fact 32, Texas has volcanoes. Pilot Knob near Austin isn't just a hill, it's the eroded remains of a Cretaceous volcano. Millions of years ago, it spewed lava over what would later become the Texas capital. Today, it's quiet and grassy, hiding a fiery past beneath its soil. Texas doesn't need mountains to keep things explosive. Fact 31, basements are rare and flood fast. Texas homes rarely have basements. Hard limestone bedrock and clay soil make digging risky or wildly expensive. Plus, the soil shifts or floods easily, causing cracks or water damage. So Texans keep things above ground, and tornado safety plans usually involve hallways, closets, or good old-fashioned praying in the bathtub. Fact 30, the coastline is way longer than you think. Texas's straight-line coastline measures about 367 miles. But count every bay, inlet, and marsh? That number balloons to over 3,300 miles. That's more than California, Oregon, and Washington combined. It's not just shoreline, it's a marine maze teeming with life, shaping ecosystems that power the entire Gulf of Mexico. Fact 29, a forest hidden beneath sand dunes. In Monaghan's sandhills, towering dunes stretch high above ground, but beneath them lies a secret, a vast ancient oak forest. The Harvard shin oak grows low to the ground, but its roots spread wide underground, anchoring the dunes in place. It's a buried woodland hidden under waves of shifting desert sand. Fact 28, a swimming hole with a deadly secret. Jacob's Well looks like a refreshing magical spring, but beneath the surface lies a deadly network of underwater caves. The main shaft drops 140 feet, twisting into tight, dark chambers. Fact 27, the world's longest undeveloped barrier island. Padre Island runs 113 miles along Texas's coast. Unlike most beach destinations, it's mostly untouched. No hotels, no boardwalks, just sand, sea oats, and solitude. As part of a national seashore, it's also a vital nesting ground for Kemp's Ridley sea turtles, one of the world's most endangered marine creatures. Fact 26, wild weather whiplash. Texas weather flips fast. In 1911, Amarillo's temperature plunged from 67 degrees Fahrenheit to 13 degrees Fahrenheit in one day. Blue northers, sudden Arctic cold fronts, can drop temperatures by 40 degrees in minutes. Sunshine, hail, heat, and chill can all show up within hours. In Texas, your weather app needs a warning label. Fact 25, Tornado Alley has no lanes. Texas sees more tornadoes than any other U.S. state, averaging around 130 a year. The geography is a recipe for chaos. Warm Gulf air meets dry Rocky Mountain air, and boom, twisters. It's not one alley, it's the whole backyard. Fact 24, 20 million bats in one cave. Bracken Cave near San Antonio isn't just big, it's bat-splosion big. Over 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats cram into this cavern every summer, making it the largest known congregation of mammals on Earth. Fact 23, a massive forest hiding in a city. Think Dallas is all buildings and freeways? Think again. Inside city limits sits the Great Trinity Forest, 6,000 acres of untouched hardwood bottomland. It's 10 times the size of Central Park and filled with oaks, elms, and wetlands that feel like stepping into another century. Fact 22, snow in the desert. In Guadalupe Mountains National Park, winter paints a surreal picture. Snow on red desert rock, snowflakes covering cactus, The peaks rise over 8,000 feet, creating their own mini weather system. It's Texas, but make it postcard Arctic. Fact 21. A river that loops like crazy. The Frio River doesn't flow in a straight line. It swirls like a lazy, drunken river snake. Thanks to the Texas Hill Country's limestone terrain, you can float downstream for hours and end up basically where you started. It's nature's own water park ride. Fact 20. An ocean of flat land. The Llano Estacado, or staked plains near Amarillo, is so flat, it'll mess with your sense of depth. Spanish explorers had to hammer stakes into the ground just to navigate. On a clear day, you can spot a thunderstorm from 50 miles away. Nothing gets in the way, not even a tree. Fact 19. A disappearing lake. Lake Meredith isn't shy, it's dramatic. During dry spells, it practically vanishes, shrinking down to a muddy puddle. Then one rainy season later, it refills like magic, rising 40 feet and swallowing up docks again. It's the yo-yo of Texas lakes. Fact 18. A pink granite mountain that moans. Enchanted Rock looks like something out of a fantasy novel. This giant pink dome in central Texas is actually a billion-year-old underground magma bubble. At night, the rock expands and contracts with temperature changes, emitting low groans that spooked native tribes for generations. Fact 17. A jungle full of palm trees. Down near Brownsville, the Sabal Palm Sanctuary is pure tropical jungle. Dense groves of native palms, thick with humidity and bird calls. It's more Costa Rica than cowboy country, and it's one of the last of its kind in the U.S. Fact 16. An entire island made of shells. On Padre Island's southern edge, there's a beach with no sand. Big Shell Beach is covered entirely in broken seashells, cockles, oyster bits, sunray clams. Miles of crunching shell carpet underfoot. Just don't forget your shoes. Fact 15. Caves with crystals bigger than cars. In the caverns of Sonora, nature went full bling mode. Massive calcite formations, a shimmering crystal called the butterfly, and helictites that defy gravity. These aren't your typical caves. They're diamond vaults carved in stone. Fact 14. A brutal climb to the sky. Guadalupe Peak is the tallest mountain in Texas, 8,751 feet high. Sounds manageable, right? But climbing it means starting in the desert and hiking 3,000 feet up through pine forests and scrub. At the top, an ancient coral reef lifted into the sky by tectonic drama millions of years ago. The view? Pure Texas triumph. Fact 13. A desert fueled by one river. Down in Big Bend, the Rio Grande isn't just a border, it's a lifeline. It slices through the Chihuahuan Desert, creating a lush green artery of life. Cottonwoods, willows, black bears, and mountain lions all depend on this sliver of water in an otherwise sun-baked wilderness. Fact 12. Rainforests in East Texas. The Big Thicket National Preserve is like a botanical remix. It mashes up swamp, subtropical jungle, and piney woods into one tangled, humid biome. Carnivorous plants? Check. Orchids? Check. A forest that feels like both Louisiana and Jurassic Park? Fact 11. A tree that thrives in floods. The pecan is the official state tree of Texas, and not just because it produces pie-worthy nuts. These giants actually love floods. Their deep roots make them resistant to wet, soggy ground where other trees would rot. Fact 10. Sky islands in the desert. The Chizos Mountains in Big Bend National Park rise like an oasis above the desert. Isolated by miles of dry land, they form their own sky island. Fact 9. A collapsed cave became a natural bridge. Natural Bridge Caverns got its name from the giant limestone slab arching over the entrance. It wasn't built. It's the only piece that didn't collapse when a cave ceiling gave way thousands of years ago. Fact 8. A glowing blue river. The Devil's River and the Upper Nueces River don't look real. Thanks to ultra-clear spring water filtered through limestone, they shine a glowing turquoise blue in the sun. The clarity is unreal. You can see the rocks at the bottom from 50 feet above. It's like the Caribbean, dropped in Texas. Fact 7. A living waterfall. In a quiet canyon near Colorado Bend State Park, Gorman Falls doesn't just look alive, it is alive. Water rich with minerals flows over mossy rocks, depositing calcite as it moves. Slowly, the waterfall is growing. Fact 6. The Texas Outback. The Trans-Pecos region west of the Pecos River is Texas at its wildest. No cities, barely any towns, just miles of rugged terrain, zero light pollution, and the occasional roadrunner. It's so remote, astronomers built the McDonald Observatory here to study the stars. It's solitude on a whole new level. Fact 5. Amarillo gets more snow than DC. Surprise! It snows a lot in Amarillo. Thanks to its location in the high plains, this Texas town averages 17 to 19 inches of snow a year. That's more than some East Coast cities. And when the wind gets going, the snow drifts can shut down everything. Fact 4. A river that turns red. The Red River earns its name after big storms. All that red clay in the riverbed? It gets churned up and suspended in the water, turning the river into a rusty red current that looks like it came from Mars. It's eerie, beautiful, and very, very Texan. Fact 3. You can see the Milky Way with the naked eye. In the Greater Big Bend International Dark Sky Reserve, night skies hit a darkness level of 1 on the Bortle scale, the darkest it gets. On a clear night, the Milky Way doesn't just show up, it glows. You can even cast a shadow under it. Stargazing here isn't a hobby, it's a jaw-dropper. Fact 2. Texas has floating islands. Caddo Lake again, but this time with islands that float. These strange land masses are made of peat and plant matter, broken free from the lake bed. Seeds land, trees sprout. Now you've got a mobile forest drifting silently through the mist, reshaping the lake's layout whenever the wind shifts. Fact 1. Texas is still growing. While parts of the coastline are retreating, the land itself keeps evolving. The Rio Grande Delta constantly builds new land from sediment, and Texas sits at a biological crossroads. East meets west meets south. It has more bird species than any other U.S. state, more reptiles, and an ever-expanding natural diversity that's still unfolding. If these facts blew your mind, imagine seeing them in action. Be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and drop your favorite Texas fact in the comments below. Want more outrageous stories from around the world? Stick around. This wild ride is just getting started.